Hello, welcome back to my channel for a new episode of the No Secret series, and today is the day where we're going to mix the track that we made the last weeks. So first of all, we'll prepare my DAW, and this time I will mix it in Logic Pro. So I will import the stems. We exported them in the last video, and here you see they are numbered, and then the only thing I need to do is to drag them into Logic. So all the files are in here. This empty one, I don't need it, so this one I can delete. And then the last one is the mix, so that later on we can compare. So it's all the instruments together, so later on we can compare our mix to how it was when it came out of Ableton. So the first thing I will do, the mix, I will mute them because I don't need it now. And then I will put everything on -18. Then I will give a color to each track. When everything here has got a color, I can press Ctrl A and then color region by track, and then I will have all my tracks colored like they should be. Then what I also do is I press Ctrl X, and then I shorten all the tracks, or I make all the spaces where there is no instrument playing, just I clean them up so there's less CPU using for the computer. Now my stems are a little bit cleaned up. Then I will prepare my DAW, and on my master channel I will put some instruments that will help me visually to see what I am doing. And I always put the sonar work at last, and I'm with the headphones, so I select my headphones. Normally I mix in my studio, in the room. Now I'm gonna mix on the headphones. It's gonna be a little bit different. I don't really like to do the whole mix in the headphones, but for this tutorial it's better to do it like that. Then I put a spectrum analyzer, so my Voxengo span. I also put the Voxengo Anspec, which is also a spectrum analyzer. Then I use the isotope imager, and then I use also the isotope tonal balance, and we are making some EDM, so I'm going to use the EDM. So the tonal balance should be between this green color. Then I also want to see what's the shape of my wave when I'm doing something, so I'm putting on the press play. I also need to look at my mono compatibility, so I will switch regularly from mono to stereo, from stereo to mono. And after that I will put a limiter. Now first, to see where I should set my limiter, because everything is at -18. For me a good point to start is to use the Anspec to play the track, and then to see that just the top of the kick comes in the red zone. Okay, something like this. So by doing it this way I will always have enough headroom, because I'm playing into my limiter, and I will take a look at the limiter during the mixing, and if I go too deep into the limiter I can take down the gain, so I still have some headroom. So after the mix is done I can export everything, and if needed I will switch off the limiter, and I got always a lot of headroom for my mastering. Okay, now my template and my DAW is ready to start the mixing, and I will begin to put this track in mono, and then I will try to adjust just the volumes, just playing with the volumes. Okay, so that's the first thing you do, just playing with the volumes without doing anything else. Most of the time I do it in mono. Now I can listen in stereo if it's also okay, but it's just a start. So at the meantime I will take my hand spec again, and I lowered some volumes, so maybe I need to play with the limiter again. Okay. Normally also I work with two screens, so I have all my tools open on the second screen, but for the tutorial I will put everything on one screen so you can see clearly what I am doing and what I am looking at. So let's look at the spectrum analyzer. You see a lot of things. You see a lot of stereo, so the sides, that's the mono part. If I mute it here, so you see that's the mono part. So I will have to take care of a lot of things in my stereo field also, because I see that my sides in the lows, there are a lot of lows, sides in the lows. Another thing that I like to do is to put, I know you should take the kick and the bass most of the time in mono, but what I like to do is to just treat them as stereo, and then in my mastering cut the 151st the frequency at 150, so everything below 150 will be mono in my mastering. Another important thing, before you start your mix, don't forget to save your project. And I save it in the same folder that I created for the track name. So in that folder you will have the Ableton project, the stems, and the mix in Logic, and afterwards you will also have the project for the master and the finished version. Okay, now we can start the mix. What I like to do is to mute everything and then to demute the things that I want to hear together. It's also better to listen to the instruments together when you mix than to do each instrument individually. But for the drums, I like to listen to the drums individually and then put them together first. So let's start with the kick. What I also like to do, I almost never use a compressor. So I use the Hoffa EQ IQ, and I put it on every channel, and all the peaks, so the peak frequencies, I take them out with the Hoffa EQ IQ. So I will load them on every channel to start. Okay, and now let's start with our kick. And let's take a look at the EQ IQ. And together with that, I look at my spectrum analyzer, and I think it's a little bit boomy at around 200, 250. So I will take it a little bit down. Just like this. Here there is another small peak that I will take down. So I don't know if you can hear the difference, but just that small EQ here make a difference on the kick. Listen. So that's almost the only thing I will do in this plugin. Now I will put the bass together with the kick, and then I will start to EQ, so that they are not playing in each other's way, because you know the bass and the kick are always the instruments that are playing in the same area. And here you can see the peaks in the EQ IQ, so I will take some peaks down also with the bass. Let's take a look also at our waveform. Okay, I will put this one here and this one here, and then we will need also our imager. You can see they are both still mono. Now what I will do here for my bass line, I will put a stereo spread on it. Okay, and I will narrow that down in my mastering. Okay, now I'm gonna put some EQ on both, and we're gonna sidechain the EQs together so that the kick and the bass are not playing in each other's way. So at the bass one, I'm going to put the kick as a sidechain, and then first I will EQ my kick and then my bass line. Somewhere around here. And then for my bass line, I will take a look where is my kick playing. And you see it's in this area. So, and it's G flat, and that's also, G flat is also the key of the track. So I'll make that dynamic. And then I will sidechain this with my kick. Here I like to put a small cut, but not too much, because I like to have some subs. And then most of the time the muddiness in the bassline comes around 300, so I'm gonna look also for the muddy part here. It's around here, so I'll put this one back at 0, and then I will do a cut of 2 dB maybe. Okay, then I will look for some frequencies, disturbing frequencies in my bassline that I also will put on dynamic. This one is a disturbing one. this one also. Then I will also listen until where I can hear my bass line, and then I will cut it there. Here. Give it a little boost. Okay, now I need some saturation on my kick drum. And if you looked at one of my previous videos, I have a preset that I made in Saturn that I use for almost every instrument. So if you want to know how to make these presets, just go into my previous videos. And for the kick, I will keep it with a gentle saturation. You hear it's a little bit more crunchy. And I'll do the same with my bass line. But on my bass line I will put some heavy saturation. What I also like to do for the bass line is to put a bit crusher. You can see it here. And you see, if I put my EQ after the bit crusher, you see the impact here. What I also like to do is to put a pumper on my bass line, so it's gonna pump a little bit more and it's gonna make it more groovy. Alright, and then for my kick drum, when you look at the waveform, you will see that there are some peaks, and that is some volume that you lose during your mastering. So I will take a clipper and I will clip this off. And you see, you hear no difference, almost no difference. And it's already a much cleaner waveform. Okay. So that's what I'm going to do for the moment for the kick and the bass line. Now I'm going to treat the stab. And you see, that's just the order where I rendered the stems. So in the order where I'm going to mix them. see there's a big difference when I put it on stereo or on mono, and it sounds better in stereo, but we have to check if it sounds the same if it's in mono. Okay, knowing that the first 150 Hertz will be cut at the mastering, this should be okay. So here I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to take off some peaks. Okay, the next one that I put on the step is my Saturn again. And this one I want to use the warm tube, I think, or the warm tape, maybe the warm tape, yeah. So I will have to narrow it a little bit down because there's too much difference between the mono and the stereo. I think it's better. Okay. You can also see at the correlation meter that it's not mono-mono, because if it stays here, or you can see it in the span also, if it stays in the corner here, it's almost completely mono. But now it's going up and down. It's going a little bit too much, but when I'm going to add some instruments, you're going to see that it's going to tame it. And then the purpose of the mix is to make it overall wide and an open mix with a big mono compatibility. Okay, now let's introduce our heads first, the open hi-hat, or maybe, oh no, there's the zap first also. The zap is mono and I'm gonna leave it like this, but there is a nice trick that you can do that I will show you with the EQ. First I will take a look here, but I don't think there are some peaks here, maybe a small one here. Okay, so a nice thing you can do with this zap is to put an auto pan on it, and you want to put it left, right, not gradually left, right. You can see it here, left, right. And you see that this is adding also a stereo image on it. You see also here the peak of the step. I will take care of that in the EQ IQ, which is around 900 and something. So I will take care of that here. 961, I think, something. You see that the peak here is tamed now, and it's really important because in these mids there are other instruments coming, and you don't want it to be in the way of the other instruments. There must be some room for everything so that the mix is balanced. And let's take a look at our tonal balance of the moment for these 4 instruments. It's really good. You see the low mids, the high mids are really good. The low end is maybe a little bit too much low end, but it's still in the rate, in the range. So for the moment that's okay, but we're not finished with the mix. What is also important when you're mixing is to take enough breaks. I like to do it every 30 minutes, and it's almost been 30 minutes since we are working on this one. So it's the perfect opportunity to finish this video, this episode. So I will take a break. I thank you for watching. If you want to know how to mix a track, how to master a track, how to make it from scratch, follow my channel, follow this series. I thank you very much for your support, and I see you the next time.